Well, good afternoon everybody. 13th of April 2021. Now, I saw an interesting video, and one that I could hardly believe or accept, let's say. But it was true. I just double checked that, of course, President Biden and Vice President Harris were inoculated against COVID-19 months ago. Indeed, it was December of last year. So here they are, and this is only one of many photos of them wearing masks. So you've got to ask yourself a couple of questions. As a person is inoculated, does the vaccine protect them from getting COVID-19? And I know the answer, basically, depending on the vaccine actually. If it was Pfizer, it was 95% effective, meaning that 95% of the people who have the vaccine are protected against COVID-19. 5% are not protected, it just won't work, in other words, for the 5%. Now, it gets worse in a sense with this AstraZeneca vaccine only being 67%. I don't know how they worked out the 67, but that's around about 2/3. That's very bad, because if only 2/3 of the people are protected from getting COVID-19, 1/3 are susceptible. At a minimum, by the way, and you only have to think of this through for a bit. I'm not talking conspiracy theories and all the rest of it. I'm talking about facts here. If the vaccination is as they say, and the health authorities in America say, as well as my local doctor has said, the vaccines do in fact work to protect you against COVID-19, but up to the point that I've just discussed, which is 2/3 for AstraZeneca. And being the problem that it is, where people get strange and serious blood clotting and can die from it, and it's no use anyone talking about it being, very rare, and it's, only a few in a million, well, let's say, but that's 100% to the family's concern. As that is a fact, it only protects about 2/3 of the time. That needs to be withdrawn, basically. Now the Pfizer 95% is pretty good, let's say. Now I've got to ask the simple question though. For two people, as you can see here, Vice President and Vice President, protected from COVID-19 by having a vaccination, what are they doing wearing masks? I've even seen Republicans, including, I think it was Ted Cruz, who's a very prominent Republican, being questioned about it when he's surrounded by people wearing masks at a media conference, why he wasn't wearing a mask. I said, I'm talking to the media, I'm standing here talking to people, in other words, answering the question. And yeah, I do wear the mask, but he's been protected as well, I understand. He's had the vaccination. So once again, there's somebody from the other side of the aisle, let's say, a Republican, and in the case of Biden and Harris, they're Democrats. What are both sides of politics doing, walking around wearing a mask when they are vaccinated? And another thought comes to mind of this 95% figure that I've heard repeatedly. So you get 100 passengers who want to go overseas on a plane. They all get vaccinated, say a month before travel. 3 days before travel, in many places you'll find they require a COVID-19 test. And in my opinion, that's fair enough, actually. Then all those passengers would, for example, be tested as negative, which is great, by the way. They then fly to a lovely COVID-19 infested place like the United States and Britain and Europe and some Asian countries, including the Philippines, absolutely soaking in COVID-19. You can be sure that that 5% if they're not protected, will get COVID-19. Now, that sounds pretty bad, but of course, if it works the way it's been said, those people will not even know they get COVID-19, and they've got a 98% chance of survival anyway. But of course, with the vaccination, what that means is we've got basically a 100% chance of survival and no hospitalisation and no death, which, if there's no nasty side effects, is fine, but there's no real long-term testing for this. But anyway, I'm not going to go over and over that issue. I'm just going to state this is something strange, and I'm trying to get people aware of the fact that people who are supposedly, or not supposedly, absolutely inoculated, what are they doing? Wearing masks. I want people to ask that question. I want the media to ask that question of anyone, whether you're talking in America, whether you're talking Australia or Britain or anywhere else. What are they doing being masked after vaccination?